got a spot right here with your name on it, lovely. Hello there. You know, if the show's good, I'm just gonna want to binge the whole thing, right? Yeah, I'm terrible about that. When I do take the dive on a show, I'm just gone. I will just burn through the whole thing. I am horrible at pacing myself with stuff like that. Well, especially if it means I get to spend that whole time cuddled up on this couch with you at my side. There's all the more reason to stay put. I mean, I don't usually refer to myself like that, but yes, by being a direct progeny of William, I am technically Prince of the House of Solaire. Why? A question, huh? It's a little ominous, lovely, even with that smile on your face. Why? What do you want to ask? Why are you giggling? Yeah, I remind you, I might not be able to lie, but I also don't have to answer. What? Now you have to ask. What? What is it? This is just mean now. What? That is not what I was expecting you to ask. I'll give you that. Well, why do you want to know? I'm not stalling. I'm just asking. You asked me a question. I'm allowed to ask you one back. Why do you want to know? Okay, look, I'm not saying I don't have a crown. Why? What does it matter? Yes, I have a crown. I didn't really want one. It's not like I asked for it, but William gave me one a few years after he turned me. What? No, I'm not gonna go put it on. I don't even keep it here. I have William keep it with his. It's more secure that way. It feels ridiculous to wear it. It feels like I'm in a Halloween costume. Lovely. It is made of Damascus steel. It's kind of a laurel leaf crown style. Like it wraps around the back and then it comes up to the front with some inset stones. It's very nice. It's also ridiculous. It only works when everyone else is done up to the nines too. Yeah, like I've only ever worn it at the Monarchal Summit. I mean, half the reason the summit even exists is for all these old vamps to get together and try to one-up each other with shit like that. Well, hell yes, I get in on it. I mean, I gotta do the Solaire name proud. We might be a bit of a dysfunctional group at times, but none of the other houses get to see that. Well, the summit's kind of like a game. And if there is one thing that the whole house can agree on, it's that we play to win. It's also about the only time you'll see Sam in something other than jeans, and that's always fun. The times when I can convince him to go, anyway. A suit? I mean, I've worn one there, but that's boring. I mean, you can wear a suit anytime. Most of these monarchs were alive when capes and epaulets were an everyday thing. I mean, you gotta bring it harder than a suit. Well, I mean, it's like normal fashion trends, you know? It goes through cycles of what they all tend to wear. And some people stick to what style they like, no matter what the trend is. But most people, year to year, tend to fit a certain mold, whatever's popular. Nowadays, it's, well, it's kind of circling back to stuff with a bit of grit, you know? Stuff with an edge, I guess. Well, the first summit I ever went to was about 5 years after I turned. I I did not want to go. Things with William were still strained. My relationship with being a vampire at all was strained. And the last thing I wanted right about then was to be surrounded by all these people who seemed to revel in what we were. You know, I was perfectly happy to have my pity party all on my own. But I am the progeny of a king. I was the new prince of the Solaires. It was expected that I make an appearance. It had already been much longer than most people in my position would have been granted. Well, I mean, for pride's sake alone, most monarchs would have invoked their progeny to come by, I don't know, 2 years in, if they were still resistant. But William refused to do that. And he was content to make excuses for me for as long as it took. But every year he did ask if I would go. And after 4 years of saying no, I decided I couldn't avoid it forever. I was such a shithead back then. Like, I had every right to feel the way that I did, but damn if I didn't have much tact about it. Well, when I told him I'd go, his face just lit up. And I just remember being so mad that that made him happy. I was just in that awful, toxic headspace where you just... you're upset with someone, so you just want to be bad. Because that's the thing, like, Will is calm all the time. He keeps his cool, you know? Like, no matter what awful things I would say to him back in that really dark period after I was turned, the hateful shit that would come out of my mouth, I could never get a rise out of him. And that would piss me off so bad. It was not great. So anyway, I tell him I'll go to the summit, and he says he'll take care of everything, down to having an outfit made for me so that I can just show up on the day and shake some hands, fake a few smiles, and then quietly slip out the back door. And I tell him, okay. So the day of the summit comes, and I don't want to go. I'm regretting that I said yes. Will seems so excited. Alexis is being Alexis about it all. William comes by and drops off the outfit. Now, for context, this was a period in the summit styling where everything was very ornate. It was all about how much gaudy crap you could pile on, basically. Like the biggest capes, the most jewelry, feathers, fur, everything. It was absolute maximalism. And and I'm standing there looking at this outfit, and I hated it. And some little switch just flips in my head, and I think to myself, this is how I do it. This is how I finally get him. This is how I stick it to the old man. I am going to show up at his party looking like the most stripped down antithesis of what he seemingly wants me to look like. So I rip the outfit apart down into all its separate pieces, and I piece together something from the parts, and I strap myself in to what is basically nothing more than this like gothic black feather shawl capelet epaulet thing over my shoulders. No shirt. these like black leather vambrace glove things, um, rings on every finger. The pants were like basically like a base layer of the original outfit. Like they were not meant to be worn alone. They left nothing to the imagination. Uh, these big black combat boots with every strap and buckle imaginable on them. I looked very different from what everybody else was giving. We'll put it that way. So I get to Skyside. Almost all of the guests are already there, but I sneak in the back way because William says he wants to talk to me before I get presented, basically. So I walk into the kitchen, so smug, so convinced that I finally pulled it off. I'm gonna make him mad. Finally. And Will is standing there, and he looks me up and down as I'm walking in, and he just smiles. He fucking grins ear to ear. Biggest smile I had ever seen him make. And he walks up to me and he says, "I'm glad you made it your own." And he pulls out the most ornate box I had ever seen in my entire life. And he opens it, and it's a crown. My crown that was handmade for me from a design he had drafted himself. No, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't think of anything to say. I was just standing there, dumbfounded, and he reaches up and he puts it on my head, and he tells me he's proud to have me representing his house. And he walks me out into the crowd and introduces me to everyone who will stand still long enough as his progeny. I couldn't fucking believe it. The old man is something else. All of that to say, I also inadvertently, more or less, single-handedly shifted the style for the subsequent next few years. As they took a decidedly more revealing, far less ornate direction. And that's fun. Yeah. Luckily, things had swung back to a more formal look by the time Sam was turned and was willing to go to one. I imagine he would have been a bit wary of going if he saw the typical outfit back around then. And to be honest, it's kind of swinging back in that direction again nowadays. But I mean, Sam's definitely in that category of people who's gonna wear what he likes no matter how much the trends change. Well, I skip it most years, to be honest, nowadays, but if you want to go, then we absolutely can. It's a wild thing to see for the first time. But I guess that's to be expected. These monarchs have had hundreds of years to learn how to throw a party. And you can't say they don't give it their all. Well, the dates move around a bit year to year. They're not tied to a particular holiday or anything. It's its own spot on the calendar, but it usually happens around October. So we've definitely got a while to wait for the next one. But hey, that just means we've got that much longer to plan how we're gonna blow the doors off those stuffy old monarchs, right? I say we start some new trends. What do you think? Yeah, they could do with a shake-up. We've got to introduce the newest solaire in style, right? They're not gonna